Hello, welcome to my COM 126F final presentation where I will be exploring what I have dubbed Karenism and the social resistance of digital whiteface. Now, this topic has come to me after seeing the pictures, evidence of the Open California Now quote unquote movement that has sprouted from the shelter in place government mandate. And after looking at these videos and pictures of these protesters, I realized that a lot of them are white, if not white women. And in response to these protesters, I've seen a lot of younger POC users on social media platforms such as Twitter or even TikTok sort of mock these protesters by giving them a sort of image or dubbing them what we call Karen. Now, Karen is in result of the POC youth retaliating against this larger system of whiteness. This is the inside joke that has been made or is understand through multiple POC circles. So it's all in reaction to these pictures or these incidents of these white women's protesting of the Open California Now events. This one in particular was one that caught a lot of attention, where a woman is in front of a Baskin Robbins demanding for liberty or demanding that she get death. And this picture, no one knows the identity of this woman, but she has been automatically dubbed a Karen. So we have to ask ourselves, what is it to be a Karen? So, as some users have defined it as, such as this woman up here, Kamiko Ochiha, features of Karen can be described. Karen can be described as a middle-aged white woman with a shorter haircut. Can be referred to as maybe a bob with the part or to the her bangs to the side. This Karen has a very short temper. This Karen is easily angered when she doesn't get her way and is angry when others don't conform to her status or to her standards. And many are also dubbing these Karens as people who can be very ignorant. And I say ignorant, meaning these Karens are ignorant to the issues currently being imposed on POC communities. So here's a picture of I found on Twitter of a recent Open the State protest where a woman is demanding a haircut. Now, this woman does not have a name, but the person who had made this sort of meme has dubbed her Karen. Karen wants a haircut. So we've seen this sort of digital whiteface, or not digital, but we've seen this whiteface before in the Carpenter article where she uses Dave Chappelle as an example of how Dave Chappelle uses whiteface to criticize and make a statement about white people's politics and whiteness in a political, social manner. So we're going to get into more examples of whiteface or digital whiteface as Karenism later, but we have to look right here for how we have our Karen and how people will sort of use this Karen image to create a statement. But unearthing all of that, we also have to view this through a decolonized perspective and really ask ourselves. This is also a question that I have found through my research, and we have to ask ourselves: is dubbing a woman a Karen misogynistic? And that's very crucial because gender is a crucial factor in Karenism. So this Karenism, or the inside joke of calling someone a Karen, is more focused towards white Caucasian women. So as you can see, there's actually been a counter movement to all this. So there has actually been some women, more white women, who have found offense to this and have started their own "Don't Call Me Karen" sub movement. And here we have an image describing that, where we have white women with a traditional, what you would call a Karen haircut, with the little logo say "Don't Call Me Karen," and because people have dubbed Karen as targeting white women, and have actually gone as far as to call it a racial slur. So There are people who are not going along with the Karen movement, but in response to this little image right here, we have one Twitter user by the name of Blue Strawberry Keisha who says, "Okay, Susan," and Susan is also a predominantly white name for women. So, um, calling Karen or using the phrase Karen is more of a protest that young POCs are using in response to white women and their actions when they're putting other POCs in danger. So it is more of a protest against whiteness as a system instead of the individual white women. And on the topic of white women, sorry, white women still have the same power as white men. So although they suffer from patriarchy or they suffer from gender discrimination, white women still have still benefit from white privilege and the power dynamic of whiteness and are able to cause harm to women of color. So this is why you have the sort of humor of like, okay, Karen, to sort of um, call out the actions of white women. So um, because we have protesters who are like the white women who are protesting right now. As you can see, this woman's smiling. This woman is not very visibly angry, and she's not demanding anything more than just being able to go get a haircut, insinuating that this is just a sort of like fun little protest for her. Like she doesn't care about going outside. You can see by other pictures of other protesters here, these people are just not taking it very seriously. There is a global pandemic currently occurring, but they are not wearing the mask. They are not following the 6 feet apart safety guidelines. Karen here just wants a haircut, just as Karen here wants to go to Baskin Robbins. And this is in contrast to POC protesters who are out here protesting for their own life. And when we talk about white women being ignorant to the issues that some POCs face, these protesters are showing that they are being more ignorant to the issues of POC in this pandemic because there have been recent studies showing that communities of color are currently suffering the most out of this pandemic. There are currently more Black and Brown people who have died because of coronavirus, and they're currently more at risk. So when you see a majority of these of white women who are protesting that they would like to go outside, they are valuing a haircut over the life of Black and brown people. So I have the graphic here that I want to get into. So this was made by a Twitter user, sort of building off of this Karen joke, where how you can easily identify Karens of different age groups. So you have, say, like a younger woman who is Becky, middle-aged woman who is Karen, and an older woman who is Susan. But interesting enough, these people right here, this Tammy Lauren, she is a very popular, widely disliked conservative pundit who was infamously known for her negative comments towards the Black Lives Matter movement, police brutality, Beyonce and her social performances. She has always managed to critique and comment off the Black experience. We have Megyn Kelly, who is a regular on Fox and Friends, who has been known for controversial statements, and then we have Kellyanne Conway, who is Donald Trump's main propaganda. So, interesting enough, the image of Karen is portrayed onto white conservative women who have been known to show anti-blackness or bias towards Black and brown youth or Black and brown people. So it's very interesting that these are the people that are associated with this Karen persona. Now here I have some examples of whiteface that we're going to get into. So as mentioned earlier, Dave Chappelle's earlier uses of whiteface were to sort of create image of whiteness that brown communities will not fear. So he presents this sort of white man that is non-intimidating, non-scary, kind of a dork, very fragile, something that you wouldn't really fear. To water down like the treatment of that white people have had towards Black people. And then here we have a Vine from a popular social media person by the name of Mark.
Fuck! Where the fucking below at?
Where you at, Matt? Where you at?
We're Giants, you know. I'm about to get a couple groceries for the wife. You know, happy fucking Halloween!
As you can see, he has this like fun little cadence in his voice. He has the little extensions in his hair. He makes jokes about going getting groceries for his wife and a marriage, for doing cocaine. Fun little white face to sort of to protest the idea of whiteness. And then here we have an example of digital whiteface, more centered around this current explosion of the protesters for the Open California Now movement. So more mimicking the Karen persona. We have a popular young black comedian by the name of Jabuki Young White, and he states, white Americans be like, I haven't mistreated an underpaid food service worker in 3 weeks. This slavery has to stop. Sort of emulating that Karen image, that image of someone who is ignorant of other people's issues, especially towards image of someone who is ignorant towards black and brown people and is ignorant to the history and of their placement of things, where they're equating not being able to go outside in 3 weeks to slavery. And on that note, I would like to end this presentation with one last little video that I found that perfectly sums it up.
Long lockdown, basically, of slavery.
Do you feel enslaved?
I do. I'm a type A lawyer, and I'm bouncing off the walls of my living room because I can't go out. And I think
here are my sources. Thank you very much.